And there's Shane's phone again.
All right, we're live. 6:30 on the dot.
We're live.
Episode 24. Can you believe that already? That means we've been doing this for 6 times 4 is 6 months.
24 weeks.
Yeah, that's 6 times 4.
That's right.
That's
Glad you're a
lot,
mathematician.
Well, you might be that Common Core stuff. You might need to draw a bunch of bubbles on the table.
No, sir. No, sir. I'm anti-Common Core.
Shane needs his flashcards.
And there's Shane's phone. There we go. Shane's got his volume on again.
All right,
Turning it down.
Shane's back.
Hey, did we have this thing shared everywhere?
Nope.
We need to share it everywhere so we got more than 9 viewers.
Crap.
I'm too busy sending this to Robbie Dye and Todd Otten.
Mm.
Hold on a second. I'll get us going. All right, David. You can play with your friends later.
I know. I'm sorry. What am I doing? You need me to share it somewhere?
Yeah.
I could do that.
All right, so Shane's back. We got our first question already from Justin Boucher. He says, "Do you still fish?"
Me?
I don't know who he's talking to.
You're the
Yeah.
only one here named Dave.
Yep. Only when I'm forced to, buddy. Come Friday night, you'll see what I've been doing in my time off.
Wait a minute. Is that a 1v1 challenge right from the beginning?
No, he would not challenge me one-on-one.
Wow.
Better be careful.
Wow. He would not, he said.
No.
Champ is getting...
He doesn't even have a boat to challenge me right now.
Maybe I can have a bank tournament. I tell you what, let's just all go carp fishing. How about that?
I'm in for that. As long as you bait and I cast. I seem to catch more. I seem to catch more when we do that. When you go by yourself, you don't catch very
I
much.
know, you're right. I suck.
Crap. All right, so this week we got Shane back. Shane, we're going to cover the St. Clair event.
Now, why can I not? I want to share this to my fishing page. Why can I not do that?
I know you. I know you had big hopes for that one going in. I know you didn't want to let the cat out of the bag. I guess you just telling me was a jinx enough, though.
I guess, man, I don't know. That's probably the most disappointed I've ever been in my life for a fishing tournament. I had a really, really, really awesome practice. I was catching 20 to 24 pounds a day at will. Everybody says it's easy up there. It's easy. Well, I'm just telling you. I'm not going to say it was easy, but I will say this. I had them figured out.
Yeah, I saw the pictures in practice.
I saw one or two of those myself.
And like I say, I don't know what happened. The only thing that I can figure that happened was the wind switched directions and started backing the current up. Everything I was doing was current related. I wasn't out drop shotting with everybody else. I was doing just current related things. Some stuff that's not really as popular as just going out and throwing a drop shot, which there's nothing wrong with that. I just didn't feel that I could win that way. I figured I could have a decent showing that way, and
Right.
that wasn't what I was really after. That was kind of my fallback plan. If I couldn't figure out how to catch them in practice doing the current thing, I was just going to go out there and use my Garmin Live Scope and drop on them like everybody else was doing. But I felt confident enough in what I was doing that when my day started going bad the first day, I did pull up on one place and I caught one about 5, caught another one about 4.5. So I figured, well, all I got to do is keep running these places, and eventually I'm going to run into another spot that's
Right.
got 2 or
And
3 on it.
Those two fish were shallow?
They were in like 10 to 12 feet, but they were in
Right.
the thicker grass. And
Okay.
I was just cranking. I was using 2 different crankbaits. I was using a Rapala DT10, and I was also using the Waterwood BDS2 for the thicker grass that came up to like 6 to 8 feet of water, where I could reel that. The Waterwood, I could reel it faster because it has the wider bill,
Right.
and it gives you that good deflection in the grass. And the DT10 I used out on the edges, and I caught a lot of fish both ways. It just like I said, when the wind switched on me and started backing the current up, I think the fish I don't know if they just stopped biting or if they repositioned and I never found them. But I just, never did relocate them. And like I said, I caught those couple big ones the first day of the tournament, that gave me the confidence to keep looking.
Right.
Well, I kept looking, and I just never did run across them. Well, I ran out there deep and caught two and kind of ran out of time. And the second day, I did the same thing again. I just, I figured the bad thing about fishing up there, the fishing is so good that once you get behind, you can't get behind up there 3 pounds and expect to come back. It's just so tight. I mean, obviously, if you look at the results from the tournament, I think it was less than a pound that separated the top 5. So, going into day 2, I knew I was way behind, and 17, 18 pounds was no good. I needed 22 to 23 to get back in the top 40, and that's what I did. I mean, I just went out there and fished, the way I thought I had to fish to catch big ones, and at 1:30 I had 2 14-inchers.
Yeah.
So I ran out there, turned on my live scope, and caught whatever it was, 14 pounds. Caught that in about 40 minutes. And, looking back on it, that's probably what I should have done all day that day. Because I think there were 8 boats in the area I was in. I think 6 of them had 20 pounds and the other 2 had 19.
Holy cow.
So, I mean, there again, hindsight's 20/20. It always is. But it's like, being an armchair quarterback on Monday. And it's easy to look back and say what I should have done. It's fishing's all about making decisions, and I made a couple bad ones, and I paid the price. It's just the way it is.
Yeah. So that second day, I figured you were going to swing for the fences just to try to get back in it. So for the guys that have never been to St. Clair, when you say grass, you're not talking about hydrilla or milfoil or none of that stuff.
No, up there, what I was targeting was cabbage, and cabbage it just grows in stalks, and it's got like little leaves that run off of it every 4 or 5 inches, and there again, I thought I was doing the right thing, but turns out it blew up in my face, and it happens. We can't do it. The only thing we can do is move on, forget about it, and go to Guntersville next, and hopefully rebound down there.
Yeah. When is Guntersville? That's in September, right?
It's the last of September, first weekend in October.
Okay. You've been down there at that time though, right?
I have. I won a BFL regional down there that same time of
That's
year.
right.
It's gonna be a tough tournament because I think there's a couple.
Spro.
Yeah, I think the Spro Frog tournament is there. I don't think it's actually Spro Frog, but it's a Spro only tournament. And
So there'll be a couple frogs thrown that day.
yeah, I'm saying they'll see a frog. They'll see a frog or two that week. But I'm kind of looking forward to that one, and we'll just move on from there. That's all we can do. Past is the past.
Yeah. Well, we got a question coming in already. Nathan Tyson. He says bullet weight versus barrel weight for a Carolina rig. Is one actually better than the other? So since you're our resident Carolina rig specialist
Hey.
here recently,
Hey, I don't mind throwing a Carolina rig. It's especially for smallmouth.
Hang on, is Todd Cochran on here? Maybe he can answer from the comment section.
Oh, Todd will know.
you know what I like to throw?
What's that?
Whatever they're biting.
Yeah. Right. But to answer your question, I don't think one's really better than the other. I think it comes down to preference. For me, the biggest thing about the Carolina rig weight sinker is the actual weight of it. Some people say, well, it's good to throw a light one. It's good to throw a heavy one. I'm gonna tell you the good one to throw is whichever one that you can feel the best. The one you have the most bottom contact with, where you can feel what's down there, whether it's sand, grass, shells, rocks,
Right.
whatever it may be. That's the one that you need to throw. Whichever one is the most comfortable for you.
So, how about tungsten versus lead? Carolina rig's been around forever. Right?
Well, up north, if I'm not mistaken, I know for a fact at Lake Champlain. But I'm not so sure maybe about St. Clair or any of the other ones. But on Champlain, you have to throw tungsten.
Now they'll throw lead.
No lead.
How about that? I didn't know that.
The only lead you can throw up there is on a jig head.
Okay.
But if you're throwing just like a regular sinker, whether it's a Texas rig, Carolina rig, whatever, lead is illegal.
So I learned throwing a Carolina rig. Basically, we all grew up catfishing, right?
Yep.
I mean, I just put a daggone egg sinker on
Yeah.
there and went at it.
That's right.
Well, density in the tungsten gives
Yeah,
you
for sure.
sensitivity.
Yeah, I throw tungsten 100%.
You can
Yeah.
read what's on the bottom. I
Yeah,
mean,
you can.
you get
but
it.
at the same time, tungsten's expensive.
It is. It is.
So if you're trying to get started, Carolina rig, an egg sinker will do just
It
fine.
will. It will.
There again, boils down to what you prefer.
That's right. All right, so you do have a 1v1 challenge on here, but it's for
Yeah.
a perch tournament.
I mean,
It's for what?
Perch tournament.
I love killing perch, but that's kind of. I mean, we're not about. We're not about all that life.
Well, if we do a perch tournament, I'm in. I
Ah,
got a ringer.
I mean,
He's
we-
about 6 years old.
I mean, we can have a perch tournament, but as far as a 1v1 based around perch,
Yeah, no, we're not.
I don't think we will.
We're
Sorry,
not
sorry,
It's-
Jay.
It's just like Jody Wright said. I'm sick of watching live on any tour with a guy looking at his unit, flipping a drop shot 15 foot in front of the boat.
Jody, October's approaching fast. The water is cooling down. We're getting some rain, some color. You won't be watching it for much longer, buddy.
So is
Yeah,
Jody,
I believe we're done with that on the Bassmaster, Jody. I think we go to Gunnersville. It's not going to be. Well, I
There's
take
Todd Cochran right there.
that back. I take that back. With these guys, you don't ever know who's going to bust out a spinning rod, so I'm going to stop right there.
Mm.
Yeah. So we got one more for you, Shane. Smallies in summer for fishing reservoirs. So northern swing out of it. All those are natural lakes. Tips
Yeah.
on
Yep.
locating and catching them. So I guess the only reservoir. Well, we got some in Monticello, but
Monticello, Lake James.
I was gonna say I guess the one that we're known for most is Lake James around here.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to Monticello?
I have.
Oh, okay.
The only thing I've ever noticed about smallmouth, especially in our reservoirs around here, in the summertime, especially, they are always around the bait.
Yep.
Whether the bait is on the bank or whether the bait is in 130 foot of water, they don't care. They're gonna eat something, and they're always around it.
That's what I've seen at James. I've caught fish at James on a little tiny swim bait out. I'm sitting in at 60 to 80 foot of water,
Mhm.
but they're only
They're suspended in the bait, 30
Yeah.
feet deep. That's what they do.
and smallmouth like to feed up big time. So
Yep. I went to James right before I went to St. Clair. We went up there and caught. I don't know. We caught 12 or 15, and I think the shallowest one we caught was 35 foot.
yeah, but he wasn't on the bottom, right?
No, he wasn't on the bottom.
Yeah. Yes, it's a whole different ball game, I guess. Reservoir fish versus in natural lakes, especially with those gobies up there.
That's
So
right.
Gobies don't have a swim bladder, right? So they're always on the bottom.
Always on the bottom, and I can tell you this: the gobies make those smallmouth feed different. Like smallmouth on the Great Lakes, smallmouth on Lake St. Clair, those fish feed down.
Yeah.
It's very. I'm not gonna say you can't go up there and get a topwater bite, but it is very, very tough to get a topwater bite. Versus like when you go to Lake Champlain, topwater is a staple up there. You know,
Right.
you kind of got my favorite bait to throw up there is a spook, and it's just a spook or a Reaction Innovations Vixen, whichever one you got. They bite them both, but it it's kind of it's two different things. One's way different than the other. Is what I'm trying to say.
Is that because of the forage?
It is.
So what? So there aren't any gobies in Champlain?
No, not to my not to my knowledge. There aren't any. Champlain's not connected to the Great Lakes,
Right. It's a finger lake, right?
more or less.
So
There-
Champlain, the main forage up there, is some
Perch.
kind of okay. It's
Perch and alewives.
and alewives.
Yep.
Okay. Champlain's a lot deeper too, right?
Yeah, Champlain's way. It's 130 foot deep in places. Where like places like St. Clair, everybody thinks about the Great Lakes. Well, they think about how deep it is. Well, St. Clair is not deep. The deepest place in St. Clair is probably 35 to 40 feet, and that's in the shipping channel.
Right.
You know, that's most generally up there in the summertime. You're gonna fish 17 to 20 feet deep,
Right.
and that's that's pretty much the deepest spot. Actually, that's actually in the lake, not counting the shipping channel.
Gotcha. I was to say when I went up there with you, we got to fish the Canadian side then.
Yes, we did.
But I threw top water for a day and a half because you could see that cabbage over there. And
Yeah.
I never got a bite on it. And then after you caught, I don't know, the 6th or 7th 4-pounder on a spy bait, I decided that I would put the top water away.
Yeah, that spy bait's a pretty cool little deal too.
You know, I thought we would see that play a little bit this week, and it didn't. I'm not saying nobody threw it, but that was never on TV.
The spy bait wasn't.
They never. I didn't see it. I didn't get to watch a whole lot, but I guess we should talk about who won. So,
Yeah, I guess we can.
so I don't know the guy. What is it? Bill.
Bill Wilder.
Wilder.
He's from somewhere in Alabama. I'm not exactly sure where.
I watched his interview. I thought it was pretty cool how he said he found it. They said he was an old man and he was running across the lake the first day in practice. Apparently it was cold up there one day.
It was in the low 60s the first 2 days of practice. The third day of practice, it was 58 degrees that morning.
Yeah, so
It's kind of cool.
so he said he got cold, so he decided to pull over and put his gear on and warm back up. And he just decided to stand up and fish because he was cold.
Right.
And he drifted across the spot and caught 26 pounds in like 6-8 drops.
Well, that's how you want to do it.
And I guess he camped there the entire time.
Those 2 questions.
So I thought it was cool. You know, he's I guess a lesser unknown. I guess he's getting ready to be known, really be known.
Yeah.
Because we had, I guess, what was that, 2 or 3 weeks ago, we had Palaniuk on here. We asked about making a check on every one or win one. And if you look at Bill's stats this year, he hadn't been doing real well.
Yeah, he's struggled a little bit too.
But according to Palaniuk, he's about to get bombarded with interviews and questions and you name it because.
Well, and you know, really, that's what, as professional fishermen, that's what we all need. You know, you need. Everybody says, "Man, I know you get tired of doing this, tired of doing that." No, you really don't, because you need people to ask questions. You
Right.
need people to be interested. You know, it's like I tell people all the time. Without fans, whether
You wouldn't
you're
have
whether
sport, any
whether
sport.
you're watching baseball, whether you're watching the NFL, hockey, whatever it may be, without fans, it doesn't matter how good you are at anything.
Right.
And you know, people, you need to do things to keep people interested. And you know, I think by Bill winning that tournament, as somebody that wasn't really expected, nobody really talked about him. I think it's good for fishing.
I mean, we
You
didn't
know,
hear his name all week until
right.
the final day.
Yeah, all you hear is Corey and Chris Johnson, and
Yeah, I
You
was a
know-
little perturbed about that. My
Yeah.
dad actually called me. My he's been sick, so he got to watch the whole thing,
right.
and he was pretty ticked off that Shane, our local buddy
Shane
Hugh,
Hugh
he never got
Was
any.
was in the top 10 all week,
Yeah,
and
pound out of first place,
and they never even hardly mentioned him.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's aggravating to see that when somebody, you know, I think anybody that makes a top 10 in one of the Bassmaster events or Major League Fishing or whatever it may be, you know, the guys that are doing the commentating stuff, they ought to recognize everybody, not
Right.
just the ones that are on there more than others.
Well, there's plenty of time to fill. I think they could have 6 to 8 hours or whatever it is live.
Yeah, it's
to talk about
8
that
hours
stuff.
a day of live.
So
and
there's
then
plenty
with,
of time to fill.
Yep, and then with ESPN too, you know, I heard them talking that they said, I think since ESPN two has came on with us this year, that they have reached 10 million viewers.
Holy cow!
Yeah, over the first 5 tournaments.
Well, I've been one of those.
Yeah, yeah, and it's good. I mean, it's good for us to get that recognition. You know, people that are.
So I'll let you in on a little secret. If you didn't get to watch it because you had to work, if you download the ESPN app, you can log into it for free. You can
Yeah.
go watch the old, the recorded live replays on there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So since there's literally nothing to watch on TV,
I know. I watched Yellowstone last night. That was the only thing I liked.
when I go to bed at night,
Andy Griffith.
the last 5
I like
nights.
me
that's-
some Andy too.
what would it say? Monday. So I was watching the day behind going to bed. That's why I don't know much about it, because I fall asleep pretty quickly after putting 2 kids to bed. But there are a few more questions on here. So David Colbert wants to know if there's largemouth at St. Clair.
Yes,
There are.
They are lots of largemouth at St. Clair. They're not as big as a smallmouth, so they don't, then they don't ever really get targeted. I've seen people up there fishing for them before, but it never in a tournament. They run so much smaller than a smallmouth that like I said, nobody bothers them.
Gotcha. Well, if I drove 11 hours again, I don't think I'd go fishing for.
Yeah, we're
largemouth.
not going fishing for
No.
largemouth.
And then Aaron Warner wants to know conditions for a spy bait. So I can tell you what it was when I was up there, and then I want you to debunk it because you had a little bit more experience with it. But from what I've seen, if the wind blows and stuff like that, then you can catch them pretty much any way you want.
Yep.
But when it slicks off and gets tough,
Yep.
because smallmouth are such sight feeders, is when that spy bait really shines.
That's exactly right.
right?
That's
Okay.
exactly right.
So
The
how about
slick,
that?
the slick conditions, and I think that's probably why you didn't really see it on live this week. The wind blew enough to keep things moving between that and the boat traffic.
Yeah.
It was enough to keep things moving, and people didn't have to throw the spy bait.
Right.
And me personally, I'm not the guy that has to throw the spy bait. I like to throw it. I want to throw it.
It's a fun bite.
It is, but
It's like hooking a tuna on.
it is.
ultralight.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of fun, and for guys that that hadn't never really experienced a spy bait bite, it's not just a smallmouth bait. Spotted bass like it, largemouth like it. It's just it's a different type of fishing.
You already said the cuss word once.
Which one? Spotted bass? Yeah.
We'll talk about it in a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
'Cause Shane's
As
gonna
we
get-
segue
Shane's
into
gonna
the
get
next-
mad. We
I'm gonna keep Shane at bay tonight.
that's why we put you in the middle.
I'm gonna keep him at bay tonight.
Oh man.
Oh, well, Chris says Larry, that's Shane's dad.
Shane's dad. Yeah.
Said his main spot didn't have any service. So
Okay.
I hate that.
Yeah.
Shane's good on camera.
Yeah.
He did.
Larry is his granddaddy, I thought.
That's right. Larry is his granddad. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Sorry, Troy.
Troy.
Yeah. Troy Shane's dad.
Sorry, Troy.
Yeah.
But he was. That's right. Shane, you're on every commercial. break.
45 minutes of live is Shane's commercial. Jody. I can't help it, man. Hey, Champion Power Equipment has been so great to me. I wish they'd put me on there for an hour and 45 minutes.
Well, it plays on ESPN every break.
That's
It
good.
does every break.
That's
So
good.
so
That's what we like.
It got 10 million viewers.
Heck
They
yeah.
probably turned it off.
I hope they sell every generator, power inverter.
Well, with all these hurricanes coming in the Gulf,
And I hope they sell everything we got out of Bass Pro Shop, Tractor Supply, online. Let's let's sell it all. That's what we're here for.
I got a feeling. I just pulled up a second ago. I pulled up the weather service. I got a feeling the Southeast is in for a little bit of a ride this week.
we'll get some rain.
I thought it was going the other way.
Nope, it goes on land like this, and then it hooks back and comes straight up through us.
Oh really?
Yes,
It'll
sir.
be gone by then.
Wow.
It'll be gone by the weekend.
So we're getting corrected. So Daryl Stewart said Jay Yellis actually did throw a spy bait. I did not see
I
it.
didn't see that either.
But
I seen
thank
Jay.
you.
I seen Jay whacking their hind end on that white chatterbait though.
Yeah.
What
So-
the world?
It took a hard right, didn't it?
That's like taking a 90.
So we're these
Anyway.
questions are rolling in here.
Good. Bring them on.
Let's see here. Derek Lilly, yep, Jay, he did show up. We'll bite other stuff. He was actually catching on chatterbait, and he even busted out the old original standby old spinner.
Those chartreuse
Yeah.
spinnerbait with
Well, I
chartreuse
don't think it was
blades.
chartreuse, but Davey Height was going down memory lane hard on that stuff. Apparently, he's fished the same
I
spot.
think it was the exact same spot. The
Yeah.
way they were talking.
Steve Eldridge did dragging a jig or throwing a Carolina rig come into play at all? So I don't think it does up there because they got that sandgrass, right?
Yeah, Steve, I drug a Carolina rig in practice a good bit, and I caught some fish doing that. But there again, man, when that wind, it's kind of like, Steve, I'm going to tell you this because you'll understand what I'm talking about. It's kind of like when they have no current in the river up there where you're at. When
Where's
they don't
Steve
have any,
from?
huh?
Where's Steve
He
from?
lives at the St. Lawrence.
Okay.
He actually lives in Messina. But when you don't have any current up there, there's no water movement. Well, when the wind blows out of the south on St. Clair, it blows against the current. Well, it stops the current flow. Same principle. So that's kind of what happened to my Carolina rig deal too. And I had to go drop shotting, and that's whatever. Let's talk about something else.
Well, I figured dragging the Carolina rig and all that sandgrass get wadded up on it. I figure that's why a drop shot works better on St. Clair.
The thing about dragging the Carolina rig up there is it does get some grass on it, but here's how I combated that. I was taking and tying like a 7-foot leader and using a heavy sinker.
Hey, how'd you do that?
Threw it on an 8-foot rod.
I had to get some help.
I was going to say, you can't pull 7 feet out. I mean,
Well, you just drop it over the side and count it
Oh,
off.
okay. All right.
That's how you
You
do
can
it.
count that high?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, Dylan. No, sir. I haven't touched a golf club in 6 months.
He's scared.
I'm not scared. I just got a bum shoulder, and I can't play the game
There
I like
again,
to play.
excuses.
Well, you know what you could do?
Come on, let's go tomorrow. No,
You
I
know
got
what-
my kids.
You know what you could do instead of swinging club if your shoulder hurts that bad? You can shoot a shotgun.
I could.
You could.
I very well could, but I've got nothing to prove out there. I don't want to prove anything out there.
Dylan said it looks like he shot 96.
Yep.
That was on the front nine.
That probably could be the case.
Wait a minute. Is he talking about golf or is he talking about shotguns? Because I did shoot a 96.
Dylan said he'll
last
go
time.
tomorrow. Come on, Dylan, let's go. I'm ready.
Man, y'all suck.
My mom said I can't play golf.
You may not play
You
golf.
might not play golf.
No,
Mama says.
Got him.
no, she knows what I'm dealing with right now.
Oh goodness, that's hilarious right there. Anyway, what's the other questions we got in there?
No, you summed them up.
No, Jody says he's thinking of buying one. Jody,
Oh,
go
God.
get you one.
Jody, you can't throw it on 25-pound fluorocarbon in a bait caster.
Do what?
He's talking about buying a spy bait, I think.
No,
Oh.
generator.
Oh, generator.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, generator. We're gonna sell some
And
generators.
I can tell you this. I know Jody pretty
Well,
well.
I do
He's
too.
not talking about a spy
I
bait.
do too. That's why I didn't think you was going to throw spy bait. Oh, man.
Work boots.
brother. David don't wear work boots.
Man, you had to
He
put
wears
on a pair of work
flip-flops.
boots in about 2 years.
David moved the office job a long time ago.
I got promoted to office staff.
Promoted.
Promoted or demoted after you blew something up
I haven't blown
you blow
anything up.
something up?
No, I have not blown anything up.
in a while?
Yeah.
Really?
No, I have not.
Okay.
The worst I've done is cut a comporium line with a ditch witch, but
The only
I'll
thing,
fix that.
The only thing you blow up are bait caster reels.
That's it.
Boy.
And I'm pretty good at it, as everyone well knows.
Yes, sir. That has been documented.
But you know what?
What's that?
Still got that belt.
That's
you
right.
do have that belt.
That's right.
Still
Where is
have
that belt?
That belt is currently in the back window of my truck. I need to bring it in
In
here.
the back window?
Yeah, it's set up there,
That's what I would
so
do,
I can
too.
see it every time I
We
drive
need to
down the
hang it
road.
up back here behind us so you're never going to get us a logo.
I'm working on the logo. I did talk.
How long does it take to draw? I mean,
It's not about drawing it. Now I'm getting it cut.
Get me a Sharpie. I'll just draw it up there.
yeah.
No, Lord.
Wall of
Stick
shame.
figure.
Yeah.
Well,
All right. So
All right, what else we got to talk about?
spotted
so-
bass
well,
at some
hold
point.
on.
Okay,
Hold on, we'll
okay.
get there. So
That's everybody's
Toyota
here for
Series,
that.
I know. Can't just jump all around though. We're still talking about all the national stuff. So
Toyota
Toyota
Series.
fished at Lake Erie, right? Was that a blowout? I
Kurt
didn't
Mitchell
see-
blasted him.
Did he blast him?
He blasted him.
And he's leading today, right?
And then he went to the FLW Championship started today, and he blasted him there.
Right, but that's-
as an understatement.
Lap the field.
Yeah, he has doubled second place. Last time I looked, he had like 100 and I don't know, 12 or 14 pounds. It was something. It was something ridiculous. He has about a 50 some odd pound lead on everybody.
And it's all right. So 50-something pound lead, just for everybody that's not watching. that is they're fishing MLF format for this, right?
I'm going to pause you guys right now. Nick Williams, that will not happen. Period. End of story. No questions asked. There you go. Sorry.
Well, tell us how you really feel.
I'm just saying.
They're fishing MLF format, right? For
Yes, they
championship?
are.
Okay,
Yep.
is anybody going to qualify for MLF out of this, or I didn't look
They
at
are supposedly on a 2-year average for the
Okay,
top 10.
All right, so it don't matter this year then.
Yeah, well, it matters.
Well, it matters for
It
next
matters.
year's.
It matters going into next year.
Here's a question I'm going to pose right now. Will there be an MLF moving forward?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah,
Well,
all that-
I'm just going to tell you,
all that stuff we heard. I think
the
were
fishing
rumors.
the fishing industry needs Major League Fishing. Just like the fishing industry needs Bassmasters
All right.
and FLW and potentially the National Professional Fishing League.
That's what. Now, granted, I mean, I've seen some of the names pop up on the National Professional Fishing League, and I mean, you know what? I know at least one of them personally.
Well, we should get him in here and talk about it. So where's he going to fish?
We need to do that. We talking about Chris Canute?
Yeah.
We need to get Chris in here and let him talk about it.
Okay.
Let's do it.
I mean, we might try that.
I mean, it ain't no different than talking about the
I mean, but
Friday night.
No,
around
man, that's
Lake
what we're
Lyman.
doing. I mean, that's what we want to do. We want to bring it to everybody. Everything fishing.
I mean,
Sometimes everything golfing too.
shotguns. Who knows what's next? But no, I mean, really and truly, like, you get in, you fill out an application, and you get this. You're approved because we like you. I mean, because is the resume there?
I don't know what their
I mean,
qualifications are. Just
I-
like Major
you know
League
what?
Fishing when they
You know what?
they took theirs.
I think that it would be great questions for Chris.
Yeah.
Let's get him in here.
I got his number. I'll call him.
All right, call him up.
I'll
Dylan
call him.
wishes his was MLF style, the way he said.
I still think I would have beat him.
Yeah, I think you would have too.
I don't know for sure, Dylan. I'm not.
Well, he was
Just-
catching 1-pounders.
I
He
mean-
would have had to have caught 6 more 1-pounders.
But here's the problem: MLF style is 2 pounds.
It is now.
So technically, he had one fish that would have weighed.
yeah, he
Technically,
would
you
have
had
had
one
one.
fish that would have weighed.
No, he
No,
had.
every one of
he
my
had
fish was over 2
He had a
pounds.
2.5, one pushing 3, and then the biggest dumb 5.5 pounder in the lake.
Hey man, they ain't gotta be smart. They just
Nah,
gotta be big.
They just got to get in the box.
I don't
Just
care.
got to get them in the box. Anyway, Jason Lamb wins a nobody gonna get a shot at that belt. Jason,
It's open.
It's open, bud. If you would like to challenge David, hey,
All right, so let's go to rules again.
let your conscience be your guide.
Let's go to rules again. All right, so
Be careful what you wish
And,
for.
and
challenge
hang on,
is
before you
open.
go any further, Dylan, just so you know, I saw your comment about your house wasn't big enough for the belt anyway. I'm gonna be honest with you, buddy. That belt's got a lot of weight on it right now. I mean,
oh no, we made it. My kids made it.
I'm aware. There's a lot to it. I
There's
mean,
a
got
lot-
some- it's
are
got-
you saying there's a lot of ink on the back of it?
It's got some
There's-
cool signatures on
there's
the back.
some signatures and some. I mean, I'm just saying.
Two legends and one soon to be legend. Ain't that way you put it? Future
the
legend.
next
The
legend.
next legend.
I don't know.
Legend killer. Is that what you
Have all fallen victim.
I mean, I'm not. My wife used that term. My kids used that term once or twice, but
What's
I'm
that?
not taking any part of that. I will not wear that title.
Which one? Legend
Legend Killer.
Oh. That's Randy Orton. Randy Orton was the legend killer.
He was.
What? Who?
Randy Orton.
I don't even know who that is.
You should be shot.
I mean, I'm sorry. Is it if it's got to do with wrestling? I'm out.
See?
You
There you
know
go.
who he is.
I don't. I mean, I don't do wrestling. Sorry, guys.
The best.
Or
the
or
best.
wrestling.
There you
Wrestling.
go. Hey, you know we were talking about doing a thing about people come in talking about the podcast. There you go.
There we go.
There you go. Right there. Come in to Rusty Hooks between tomorrow and next Monday. Mention the legend killer Randy Orton.
What they gonna get?
10% off your order.
There you go.
10% off. So
Those-
if I spend $1,000 and that's
You
$100.
save $100. That's
There
right.
you go.
All right.
You
When's
remember
it-
that?
when-
Somebody comes here and starts talking
You
about
might have
Randy
to.
Orton.
You might have to text it to me or something.
When
So I'll
does it-
forget.
Wait a minute. When does it start?
Tomorrow.
I'll be in tomorrow.
Start tomorrow.
So you're saying there would be, that is right. 100% fact, sir. Jason Land, you are correct.
Yep. But Jason, remember the rules. The rule is you must fish David under his
Terms and conditions.
His terms and conditions. Wherever David wants to go, whenever he wants to go, that's when you got to go. So you remember that.
Dylan, yes.
Nacho
Nacho
Libre.
Libre.
Yes, that's right, Dylan. Come on over here.
He will wear his mask and his cape next week.
I'll put the flying taco on you.
Best line of wrestling I ever heard is in my favorite 30 for 30.
Which
Nature
one?
Boy.
Oh, Lord.
260 pounds, twisted steel, sex appeal.
Oh,
Wow.
my gosh. That's awesome.
You gotta say it with the lisp and everything.
Yeah, that's right. The American Dream, Dusty Rhodes,
Dusty Rhodes.
son of a plumber. Oh, my goodness.
Oh man. Jason Land says he's got plenty of vacation.
Well, okay, Jason. Now you got the easy part done. I'm just going to ask you: Are you going to freaking challenge him or what?
Dylan says he doesn't want to be anywhere near your taco.
You liked it the first time.
Wow. All right.
Now
You went 260? Is that where that line came from?
No, we went past that.
He would not pass away.
All right, hold on now. Let's go. Let's stop messing with Dylan here.
All right.
Jason Land, is that a challenge?
We'll wait.
Yeah. While we're waiting,
Oh.
let's talk about Randy Orton.
Hey, I met him in the airport one time.
Did you really? Is he as big as he looks?
He's huge.
I'm going to check out on you guys if you guys go down the wrestling road.
Hey man, if you didn't watch wrestling growing up, you
Man,
missed out.
hey, I'm gonna tell you the two things I look forward to was when the NWA
Dylan's gone.
came to Park Center in Charlotte when I was a kid. My dad, his two uncles and myself, we were there. I seen them all growing up.
Front row.
Man, I seen a woman pull a gun on Greg Valentine one time because he was. Or, let me take that back. She pulled the gun on Roddy Piper because he had Greg Valentine down choking him, and she was gonna help him.
How did that end
man.
for her?
Man, she wound up in the pokey.
Look at that. Look, there's my line. My neighbor put it in there.
What's that? I can't see it.
260 pounds of twisted steel sex appeal.
All right. Looks like Jason has challenged.
Uh-oh. You know what he's got in his profile picture?
A fish?
A fish choking on a buzzbait. You're screwed.
Dang. All right, Jason. You guess what? You are officially the next challenger. Now it's up to David to decide when and where. And you just saved one of them vacation days there, pal.
You know what's sad? This
What's
is
that?
sad. Other than Tennessee, I've not been fishing since you and I. Well, we did our little live thing, but other than that, I've not
Tennessee?
been.
That wasn't really
Tell
fishing.
us about that. We forgot about that.
We went up
Oh,
and
that's
whacked
good.
on a
That's
couple
right. We
stripers
talked
for.
about
Yeah, he went up there with
That's
Big
right.
Head Johnson.
Johnson.
All right, Jason Land, tune in next week or bring your happy little rear end down here next week, and we'll nail this down.
There we go. We
Oh.
might have a guest down here next week.
Jason, can you make it here next week?
Jason's at Baden, right?
Jason lives in Concord, I think,
Concord.
Kannapolis.
Okay.
Now I just got to think about what to do.
Shane wants to go back to St. Clair.
Dang right, I'm pissed off at him.
All right. So, covered the national stuff.
The 1v1.
Got the 1v1.
I just got dumped off my own podcast here. I don't know what happened.
We kicked you off.
I got deleted.
Want to announce the winner yet?
Yeah,
Yeah, let's
he
do
was
that.
on here just a second. He may
Let's do
still
that.
be here.
Is he still on here? Josh Gooder, you still on here?
All right. So let's talk about, just make sure everybody knows what's going on. So
That's right.
we got a post on our Facebook page. We were at like 960 likes or something like that. and we made a post, said, hey, like this post, share this post, like our page, drop a comment so we get you counted. And when we hit 1,000 likes, we're going to start not 1 week of giveaways, but 5.
5 weeks.
Okay, so it didn't take long.
Nope.
Apparently they like Shane's personality. So I think within like the next morning when I got up, I think we were at like 1,008 overnight.
that's
okay?
good.
So
Thank you guys for that.
thank you all very much. So
Keep it coming.
To
Keep the
celebrate-
likes and the shares and all that good stuff.
David's worked with Carl Carson, who is one of your suppliers, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
Distributor.
Distributors.
Spro, Gamakatsu, Big Bites, Sunline, Denali,
AFCO.
AFCO.
All right. So
And a
slow
few
it
other
down. So
things.
It's AFCO,
Big Bite.
Big Bite, Spro, Sunline, and Gamakatsu are the 5 in there.
Plus
Right.
Rusty Hooks is going to throw something
Oh, you gonna
in
throw
it.
something in
Yeah.
there? That's gonna be a surprise.
Surprise, surprise.
Surprise, surprise. All right.
Awesome.
So the catch to it is, all right, so this is only 1 week. All right. So if you're watching and you have not liked our page, liked and shared that post, go find it right now, like it and share it, because we got 4 more weeks of giveaways. All right. And there's some good things in here. There was one of those cards I was trying to steal. It's a 50% off
Pro deal card.
pro deal card from AFCO. So if you spend $10,000 at AFCO, it only costs $5,000. There's no limit to it.
That's awesome.
So thank you, Carl, for that. And while we're thanking people, how about all these drinks we got laying around here and all the
Yep.
cookies and stuff y'all been eating?
I know.
Scott McGinnis. Bo's
Scott
Quick
McGinnis,
Stop.
Bo's Quick Stop in Shelby. Is it
Uh,
Highway 8?
18. I don't know. Remember exactly where it's at. Give me a second. I'll
It's
find it for you.
Highway 18,
Josh Good's on here.
just
Good.
outside of Blacksburg.
Shelby.
Shelby,
Yep.
that's Blacksburg. Shelby, Bowling Springs area.
So
That's right.
So he's helping us out with some snacks. And Jason Land, you'll probably get some of those in the 1v1.
That's right.
yep.
He's going to sponsor us for that stuff too.
But
so.
but I would suggest, Jason, that you didn't eat any of that stuff. You better concentrate on fishing. I'm just saying.
There's Josh Good right there.
Yeah.
Is that how you say his last name? Good?
Yeah.
Or is it Good?
Good.
Like you were
Good.
saying.
Just call him Josh.
Josh.
Yeah.
All right. So Josh, congratulations.
You are the winner, sir.
You are the winner of
You're
the
the first
week
winner of
the
this
first
week. So you need to bring your hind in by Rusty Hooks and
And
pick up
mention-
your stuff.
Randy Orton. You
And
get,
don't forget to mention Randy Orton and
get
get 10%
10%
off
off anything
anything
you buy.
else in the store.
That's right. So
You didn't have to
again-
reiterate for him. I mean, it
Hey.
could have been just one of them surprise.
Again,
Nah, man.
He's already down here nickel and diming me all the time.
That's all right.
now he's gonna get extra 10% out of it.
Yeah. If he can beat you up on something and then get 10% more off, I mean,
Oh,
can't blame him for trying.
nah,
Hey, so explain.
I
that.
got him pretty good the other day. Don't worry
I don't
about
have
it.
it up here.
What's that?
The bag, the yellow bag.
Yellow bag?
Yeah. So explain that. So after
You had to ask me to explain it. Ah,
Don't get up. David ain't got no pants on.
That's why he's sitting close to Brandon tonight.
that sir is a lie. I am fully clothed. So
What is that?
I don't know how-
doing? That's you.
I didn't do it.
74. What is that?
I don't know.
I have no
Danny
idea.
Gibson likes it though. Whatever 74 is.
I have no idea.
Is that
Oh, you know what? Sorry guys, I hit a button on my computer.
Is that like the Water Boy when he number 62, 62? Speaking of the Water Boy,
I love my mama, and now you know that.
Bushy was on here a little bit ago.
Bobby Boucher.
Boucher was on here a little bit ago. Where's Raby at? Is he still on here?
Oh boy.
All right, I'm getting off the track. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right, so Josh, come get your stuff, and
I got a big surprise for you, little buddy. Come on.
Like and share our post, and get entered in for the next 4 weeks of giveaways.
That's right.
Josh, you don't get to win
Josh,
again.
you are now ineligible.
So is
I
Mama.
got-
The
Hey.
mama's ineligible.
Hey, I got a text from Chris Canute, said he would love to come talk about it.
Okay, that'd be great.
All right,
We'll get
Chris.
Chris on here.
I'll get up with you, and we will get a. When you want to do that?
Well, we got a couple weeks. We got
You're gonna
Next
be here
week.
for a while, right?
next week. Jason's going to try to make it. The week after that, we have special guest William Frazier, assuming he doesn't get called out of the town, to continue the deliberation and segue into spotted bass on Lake Norman.
I don't care if they're on Lake Norman.
I'll tell you what.
I mean, it's coming to all the
I
lakes.
just don't want them on Lake Riley.
Yeah,
Well,
we could have.
we're diving into that now. We can have what?
We could have Jason and Chris on here next week.
All right.
Let's do that.
All right.
Can I call out sick?
Just
Do I have that option?
I think
Sure.
you already did number 74.
yeah, whatever that means.
All right, so spotted bass.
Oh God.
All right, I'm gonna dive into this.
All right,
I'm,
hold on a second.
I
We're
got
gonna
a lot to
we're
say
gonna
right here.
Get biological on these guys.
I got a lot to say about this.
So is this the Coosa River spotted bass, the Kentucky spotted bass,
Well,
or the cursed Alabama bass? And what's the difference? Because I don't know. They're all spotted bass to me.
well, I can tell you this: what is in Lake Norman and Wiley is the Coosa River spot.
I didn't think they were.
It's
Yeah.
been
We have-
genetically proven.
We have Coosa River spots and Alabama spots. We do not have the Kentucky spotted bass. The Kentucky spotted bass gets about the size of that drink bottle right there.
Well,
Now-
I can tell you this: the ones that I've caught on the Coosa River are a lot meaner than the ones that are in Lake Norman.
Well, the ones you catch on the river, of course, are going to be, meaner, stronger than a reservoir fish.
They got shoulders on them on Logan
Yeah.
Martin.
They do that. They do that.
They will legitimately rip a chatterbait
Yeah.
out of your hand.
They're pretty
Just
mad at it when they
Ask my
bite it.
dad.
Yeah. They're pretty mad at it when they bite it, but it's cool. I like it.
Well, I can tell you this: there's been a lot of rumors, a lot of myths. There's been a lot of statements made by individuals about this. Spots are not all bad. Okay.
Just mostly.
I mean, again, do they take over fishery? Sure. When you take a lake like Lake Norman, break it down, look at it, it's not a largemouth fishery.
Lake Norman is
It's
it is a. I'm going to go ahead and say it. Lake Norman would be a premier spotted bass lake because it has all the things spotted bass like.
the only thing it's lacking for that is bait.
Yes,
100%. Argue if you want. It lacks bait to be that.
it will always. Lake Norman has always been short of bait, even through. I don't think the state has ever stocked any bait in there, but I know back in the day,
They stock plenty of stuff in there to eat it.
yeah,
David Williams.
yeah,
You guys got. We're gonna have a 1v1 you versus him.
yeah. We're
I
gonna
think
do
y'all
that.
should just have a smack talk
Anyway,
wrestling
so
match.
yes, Chris Marshall, I agree.
It needs herring.
Herring would help
Chris,
a lot.
it has herring in it.
Well, a lot more than it has.
Lots of herring.
Lots of herring. I agree with you, Chris. I'm down for it.
Now, I
That's
will
what
say,
makes Lanier so good.
That's
I mean,
exactly-
Lanier,
that's
Lanier
exactly right.
and Norman set up very similar now.
They look-
The only difference is the trees. Norman
Yeah.
don't have the trees.
That's
Everything
right.
else is exactly the same.
but you know what? You can go put all kinds of brush, and if you want to work at that, you can make that happen. That's easy to do.
Sumo wrestling.
But you can't put. I mean, you're not going to go put bait in unless the state allows you to put bait in. And then, yes, Mark Silverthorne, it has plenty of largemouth in it. The problem is if you look at largemouth fisheries across the country, where the best largemouth bags are coming from, hands down, what ingredient do they have that Norman does not have? There's one ingredient. It's grass.
Yep.
Norman does not have grass.
Nor will it ever have grass.
Nor will it ever have
Now,
grass.
that's not what.
Unless you can get the state to buy into it, the homeowners to buy into it,
No,
everybody jump
no,
on board.
No. For Lake Norman to ever have anything such as any kind of aquatic vegetation, Duke Power has to be on board because that's the main reason that it doesn't. They
Well-
say it clogs their turbines and this, that, and the other, and when it gets right down to the nitty gritty, it's their lake, and they can do what they want to do with it, whether we like it, whether we don't like it. That's just facts.
Now,
So the only way to change that is just cut your power off, right?
no, the only way to change it, really and truly, is to go to the political side of it and get the politic side of it changed to where Duke doesn't have a choice but to allow X amount of grass to grow in the creeks where it doesn't affect their turbines. Period.
No, I thought from that thing that they hosted up there
Now-
not too long ago, I thought that they were on board for some kind of a bank grass, just
They-
as long as it's not on the main lake.
They are. Again, there's been conversations had to that extent. And, you know,
'Cause
that-
I can tell you down here, I know we're talking about Lake Norman, but I can tell you down here, the problem with this lake is the amount of pressure it gets. We don't have real good spawns down here. I
No.
can't tell you, when I was a kid, you could come down here and you could blast fry garters.
but this lake doesn't have natural cover for the
I
fish to
understand.
hide. There's
Well,
no
it used-
laydowns.
It used to have a ton of laydowns.
It did before.
and now you can't. I bet you in the past 5 or 6 years I've been fishing out here in the post spawn, I bet you I've seen 10 balls of fry,
Yeah, and you know what I
and
saw?
they're getting demolished by brim.
That's and perch.
Yeah. But anyways, back to Lake Norman. I agree with everything you're saying. I do not. I do not. Well, I don't really have an opinion on spotted bass because I
They've-
like to catch fish.
Listen, spotted
I
bass have
just
made
like
Lake
flat out
Norman what
catch
they
fish.
are.
Please don't
Please don't
fish
fish
Lake
Lake
Norman. That's right, Chuck. All of you stay home.
I mean,
So Shane, you've been on Lake Norman for, no offense, but a lot longer than we have, and you were there for when it was the quote
When
unquote
it
Dead Sea,
and it
right?
was the Dead Sea. Period. And a lot of these guys that are doing all this complaining and stuff now, not all of them. I'll go ahead and call his name, Michael Fox. He's been around as long as I have, and he knows what it used to be like.
Right.
You know, and guys, I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you, it truly was the Dead Sea. If you had 9 to 10 pounds in a tournament, you had a legitimate shot to win. If you caught 11 pounds, you had a lock at it. I never will forget Wendy's restaurants used to put on a tournament every year, and I got the trophy at home for this. We finished, myself and Anthony Johnson, and you know everybody knows he's my partner in fishing.
had to clarify.
Wendy's had that tournament. It was a 10 bass limit. We finished second. There was 2 10 bass limits weighed in. The winner, who was David Anderson, had 10 fish for 21 pounds.
So
Anthony
10 2-pounders.
Anthony and myself finished second with a 10 fish limit that weighed 14 pounds.
Wow.
And that's okay. If you guys want to go back to that, yeah, hell, kill them all, because that's what you're gonna get.
Using live bait.
But again, I'm going to interject here. The whole comments that we've seen people try to debate and say, "Oh, we didn't say it, we said it," whatever, about killing all the spots. Killing spots is fine. Take them home and eat them. Don't throw them up on the bank, because spots they multiply quite a bit. They spawn a little bit earlier than largemouth. They spawn a little bit deeper, and the fry acts differently. So if you want to eat spots.
Yeah, I have.
But don't just throw them up on the bank. And I'm not saying that was said or not said. I mean, there was a big long post I read today saying that was not the case. Okay, if you want to stock F1s, that's fine. But put your money in a better suited area than stocking F1s. Try to get them to stock bait. Try to get them to put grass in the creeks. Use the money to go further the fishery and not just try to put a Band-Aid on the big problem.
So here's a good question Chris Marshall poses.
And I can answer Chris's question.
I can't see it. What is
It
it?
says, why does Watery get Water Willow and none of the other Catawba lakes?
Watery is the last lake on the chain to become populated. Okay, so Shane, you've been down to Watery. I've been down to Watery. You've been down to Watery.
Yeah.
Every year, there's X amount of grass that the homeowners kill. They don't want it in front of their house. They have a problem with it. So they go out there and pull it up with rakes. Technically, that's illegal.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And if they get caught doing it, there's some pretty hefty fines involved in that. But Watery, in the last 5 years, they've added a lot of houses down there.
Yeah.
So it's going to continue to be a problem for the homeowners. The guys that fish Watery love it. I love it. You love it. We all love
Yeah.
going down there fishing grass because it's semi-close to home. And you can catch a mega bag at Watery.
Well, the thing about it is Waterwilla also is present in a lot of the Yadkin lakes.
Yeah.
It is.
You know, it's in Tuckertown, it's in Baden, and I fished Baden more this year than I ever have in my life. And you can go down there when it's hot and nasty and all that stuff, and you can't get a bite anywhere else. You can go down there and fish that grass and catch some fish. I mean, if nothing else, at least you're having fun, you know. And that's the reason with the bulls, you know, when it comes down to it, that's the reason we all do this. It's fun. We like doing it.
Shane, you need to go. You need to go read all these
I
comments.
can see 'em.
It's over.
I can see them.
Somehow again I got kicked off the comment. I mean, I
I
can't.
can see them.
Oh,
It's all good.
Your week,
I'm glad I'm giving people something to talk
your
about.
week coming up is going to be busy.
It's okay. No problem. I mean, I tried to nip it in the bud, but it didn't work.
Too late. You hesitated.
It didn't work.
Wow. Josh, I'm glad there'll be a meme and I won't be involved in it. Well,
oh god.
no, I mean, again, like I said, man, Michael Fox is trying to do the right thing. I'm not gonna squash his dream. I mean, I'm all for making a fishery better,
Carl's on here.
and I just think that you really got to give some real thought into what you're trying to do. Are you trying to solve the problem, or are you just trying to put a Band-Aid on it? Because here's the deal: you put fingerling F1s in there, what's gonna happen?
The hybrids.
The hybrids are gonna eat them. So
And so are the spots.
and the spots will too. So again, let's really think it through before you take all this money that you've raised. Congratulations for raising so much money. That's awesome.
I'm glad.
I'm glad there's people that care about fisheries that much, but step back and look at the big picture and be cautious of what you're doing with the money people are entrusting you with,
Yep.
so that egg's not on your face down the road.
Well, I can tell you this: any kind of private stocking program or whatever, if you don't have a biologist helping you, nothing's going. I mean,
Well,
we
no.
we don't know.
No.
Well,
We really don't.
we know
Everything we're talking about is opinions. We don't know.
we know about a fish tank.
I know lots
I mean,
about fish.
I'm just saying, if you treat a lake as a fish tank, how many fish can you put in your fish tank?
It depends.
Exactly.
But
So
every lake. So while you're talking about that, so every lake, like fish tanks,
Mike Langford, that is true, except for Watery.
Whoa, hold on a minute.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of stocking programs going on. They all got lines on them.
yeah.
They've stocked hybrids, and you know, for us as bass fishermen, that's not what we want. But the problem with that is the guys, they implemented. I think it's a 5 or 6 year stocking program, and
It's here to stay.
yeah, it's here to stay. We're never going to get rid of the hybrids.
I went back and watched the tape thing of that, and that was the first thing they talked about, was trying to stop that, and it's here to stay.
There's too many
Well,
wealthy homeowners.
There's a lot of
that-
people backing that we don't know about.
That's exactly right.
And they told us, they flat out said it in that meeting and said this is the first time that bass fishermen have ever united as a united front and have come to us for help. It's always
Yeah,
been
that's great.
It's always
I wish
been,
I could have been there.
It's always been sit down. It's been a shouting session as opposed to trying to
That's right.
actually fix something.
And that goes back to why we're going to have, we hopefully going to have William Fraser on here, and you know, I personally have some questions with him because I don't agree with a lot of things that they say. Obviously, he probably knows more than I do because he's a
Sure.
biologist. But I just know what I see because, especially in the wintertime, I'm on Lake Norman 3 to 4 days a week. And I know what I used to see, and I know what I see now.
Yeah,
Used to see in the wintertime, there was a big thread fin die off, the fish schooled, the spotted bass were schooling, the hybrids were schooling, the you know, whatever. They were in there eating bait.
Well,
Well, now, guess what? I haven't seen any schooling to amount to anything in a couple years.
listen, Wiley, the year I started fishing, which was about 12 years ago, you could go run to any main lake flat for the most part and see fish schooling. Now, you don't see it. And if you do see it, it's real fast, and then all of a sudden they disappear.
Well, our forage has changed.
Alewives have come down through the Catawba River chain from Hickory down through Norman into Wiley, Mountain Island, and it changes. I mean, alewives act differently than threadfin. Alewives act differently than herring. So, I mean, again, everybody's talking about fishing sucking, and it does. Wiley sucks, but
Yeah,
who's changing the way they're fishing?
that was another thing that Michael Kennard brought up. So there's basically no nutrients in the lake.
There's
no
no.
way to put them in there.
There's plenty of ways to put them in there, but
Grass.
Grass will clean it more.
but what you see,
What he's talking about is particles in the water
Yeah.
for bait fish to eat.
yeah, but you lose those nutrients in the water because every bank you see now has riprap on it. There's no
Or
mud.
silt.
There's no
Silt.
mud, which gets washed into the lake, which contains nutrients. That's why Lake Wiley used to be so good back in the day. You
There's
think
a
about
mud
it.
hole.
You
Listen.
think about it. This place, you could track a coon across this place in April.
Listen,
Plants.
Yeah.
I ruined as a kid. I ruined a pair of swimming trunks every summer or two every summer water skiing.
You
This
know-
place was never clear.
You know how to swim?
They just even wore a big life jacket.
I can swim. One of them orange ones hangs around my neck.
That's right.
Mike Langford, to make a statement in rebuttal to your statement, you're right. But again, look at what you're talking about. Lake Jordan, completely different animal than Norman.
Yeah,
You can't compare apples and oranges.
that's right. Jordan has two
I mean,
very fertile rivers that feed it.
Right.
and there's not as much as much bank that's been taken for houses and beautified, so to speak. You know,
all the
rip wrap
backs-
and
all the backs of the creeks and all of our lakes are. I mean, they're just
There used to be nothing in the backs of them, and now there's houses
well, and they're all inches deep where it used to be
because of the
8 to
silt.
12 feet
and it's
deep.
again that falls back on Duke Energy. I'll say it here live. I don't care if they hear it. Great.
Good, maybe they'll do something about it.
If they have learned over their course of history controlling these lakes, they've learned how to keep the mud from coming down the lake and muddying the lake up. Because
Because people don't like it.
what homeowner wants to live on a dirty lake?
Hey, I got yelled at this year. Brandon and I got yelled at for stirring up mud in this lady's coat.
I heard about that. Again, that's part of the ecosystem. Take Crowder's Creek on Wiley or Big Allison Creek on Wiley for examples. You and I were just live back behind the bridge.
Yep.
You couldn't get on trolling motor.
There's an island back there now that never used to be there.
I mean, yeah, there was always a channel. You had to run the left side and then hook hard right to get
Well,
to the
you still gotta
trestle.
run all the way to trestle.
No.
I wouldn't even try anymore. I
No.
haven't been back there for.
I did it 2 years ago in July. The water shot up one day. We got a bunch of rain, came up about 1.5 feet, and I did it. And I idled in. I thought I was good. Running out, I dinged a prop up pretty good. And again, it didn't used to be that way. It doesn't have to be that way. Crowder's Creek, if any of you guys listening, watching, are familiar with it, you go in the back of Crowder's and there's a peninsula that used to be maybe 50 yards long, and now it's about now it's about 200 yards
you
long.
can barely get around it anymore.
I mean, the channel is so tight up against people's piers that
Well, it's ruined those docks.
the lakefront property back
It's
there,
flipped those docks upside down.
yep,
Really?
it has bad.
Yeah. I can't remember the guy, Cal Graphics CG. Something
Yeah,
about
David
Fishing Creek.
Williams, the other David
David
Williams.
Williams. Fishing Creek's getting that's
It's-
the next one to blow up.
Again, Fishing Creek, it's in between Watery and it's starting to become more populated as well, and it changes it. And Josh Good, yeah, you're right. Perch are terrible. That's a whole nother discussion.
We'll never get them suckers out of here.
I mean,
Right.
They did kill one of the most fun memories I have as a kid, though. We used to go up to Seven Oaks or Catawba Creek, depending on how long you've been around here,
Yeah.
and catch white bass when I
Oh,
was
yeah.
a kid on a rooster tail in the
Well,
winter
shoot,
time.
you should have. You throw it even a little further back. You used to go up there to the mouth of Dutchman's in the river,
Yeah.
and do
Shoot,
that.
you
That
can't
was
even get up
that
at
was the
Dutchman's.
thing.
Can't even get in Dutch
And
anymore.
my-
That was the thing. People go up there, and people will be parked up and down the banks catching white bass,
Yeah.
big ones.
And they're about that big. I remember catching them as a
Now
kid.
they're all gone.
Yeah, well, the
do you still catch?
Peter
I
for
caught
those.
one 2 years ago out here.
A white bass?
A white bass, 100, and it was about that big. and it was I did put it back. I didn't kill it.
It wasn't just a giant perch.
No,
I've got a couple stripers.
let me tell you
out
something.
here.
This was a white
I remember
bass.
catching white bass when I was a kid, man. It was so much fun. Because you can catch 100 of them.
Yeah.
Easy.
So, and my dad, he's talking about Crowder's, where that peninsula is now.
Yeah. Well,
He
to
used
the
to wa-
left, I used to ski ski and kneeboard when I was a
Yep.
kid back there. You can't even, once you turn the corner and go back to the first bridge, you can barely even troll motor back there now.
Mike, like I said, man, I'm all for what Michael Fox is trying to do. I know it's voluntary. I appreciate you guys trying to step up and make a difference. All I'm asking is you to seriously give major thought into, okay, we're going to do this. What are the repercussions of this, and what's it going to do? Is it going to help? Is it going to hurt?
I think he's going that route by asking the biologists to get involved.
Well, that's true.
Raising the money is the hardest part. I can tell you that right now.
That's true, but there again, taking all the late. I'm trying to say this without screaming. All right,
Make sure you start with "not my partner" instead of his name first.
Lake Norman, guys. No matter how much you want it to be, is never going to be a great largemouth fishery. The lake is probably going on 60 years old now. I think it was
longer than that.
I think it was impounded in the mid 60s.
Cowan's Ford, there's a thing up there, and it's six. I think it was 64, maybe.
Well, that would be the
That'd
mid
be
60s.
60s.
Okay, that's
Okay,
more than
anyway.
60 years old.
It's
Anyway,
2020.
Anyway, you think
That'd be
about it.
56 years.
If that,
Okay.
let's fast forward from 1964 to 2000. 2000 was the year that I caught 10 fish for 14 pounds and finished second.
Smash.
There were no spotted bass in the lake at the time. I think it was just shortly thereafter the spotted bass started showing up. In the lake, guys that have fished the lake for a long time, the fishing has it's gotten way better. I mean, just a couple years ago in the winter tournaments, it was taking 20 pounds of spotted bass to win. This past year, it wasn't as good. I'll be the first one to tell you, I think the fishing kind of declined a little bit last year. But there again, like it also goes through cycles where it's good and bad, and it peaks and valleys. But killing all the spotted bass is not the answer. And if you want to take some spotted bass out and eat them, please do so. You're not going to hurt a thing. But if you think that you're going to go fill your live wells full of 100 every time you go fishing, and just go kill them, I'm sorry guys, it's just dumb.
And that's not gonna solve. I mean, it's not gonna solve anything. It's not gonna help. They're already there. They're there for good.
So you talking about fish tanks earlier. So one of my, I guess my side nerd things is I have a saltwater reef tank at my house.
That's neat.
And you talk about nutrients. So when you first start a tank, it has to cycle and it actually has to get nutrients in there. Nothing can live in it because it's too clean, right? And then based on the volume of your water, depends on how much biomass is what they call it you can put in there.
Yeah.
You can have too little, and it won't. The microbiology in it will not support itself, and you can have too much, and then it will get overrun by organic stuff and basically become nasty cesspool, right?
Yeah.
Like you see in ponds when the water gets stagnant, everything dies, right?
Yep.
So, if you everything adds up to biomass, all right. So, if you take out smaller spots or
Right.
just smaller fish in general and get rid of them, that is removing biomass. Okay, and what it does is it allows for something to take its place, which means either the fish can get bigger or the ones that are better at reproducing can become more plentiful.
Right.
Okay, so just removing the smaller ones is not going to, in my opinion, I don't think will make the bigger ones bigger.
No.
All right, so because the perch, or the way I understand it, because we did a bunch of research out here about these things when we were trying to have those perch tournaments, right? That's where the first 1v1 belt came from. It was a perch jerking tournament
Yep.
belt, right?
I remember that.
And we tried to figure out the best times to target them. And what we learned is they spawn offshore just like brim do and during the summer, every full moon
Perch.
on humps and high spots off the bank. And when you hit one right, you can literally go out there and catch 300 of them.
Yeah.
Easy. Anywhere from this size to the state record actually came right down there from Ebenezer. Believe it or not, the state record white perch in South Carolina came from Lake Wiley.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And the problem is that was
And
when it
they
was
s-
still a game fish.
and they spawn a bunch.
Oh, I'm sure.
So throwing bass out, do what you want, right? But I'm just saying, removing biomass just allows other things to take its place.
Oh man, it's like Wiley. Okay, we want to kill the perch. We want to try to make room for better
I can tell you
fish.
this, the catfishermen don't want to kill the perch.
Oh.
Heck no. Them flatheads and the blues are getting humongous.
Listen,
huge.
Wiley's become a catfish destination now because of them. I mean, and that's part of the problem with Wiley is okay, if we want to get to the nuts and bolts of what we need to take out of here, well, let's kill some catfish first. You know,
No, we don't need to kill. They eat all the perch. They eat the perch.
they eat the
crap out of
perch, and they also eat spotted bass. They eat
That's
largemouth,
That's
and
fine. I mean,
They eat way more
they're
perch
not.
than they
They're
eat
not
the
going
other
to eat
stuff.
very many 3-pounders.
That's true.
I can tell you something else they eat are $27 jerkbaits
Don't
Yes.
they? Them flatheads will get them.
Yes.
and $17 chatterbaits.
Yeah, they don't mind it at all.
Oh man.
Chris Marshall said he thinks the spots help Lake Norman, but do you think but you take Hartwell? I think the spots killed Hartwell. Chris, I agree with you. I ain't gonna say that it's killed it,
It's changed.
but it's definitely changed it 100%. No doubt about it.
I don't know. Well, are they getting in Murray too?
There are a few spotted bass in Murray, but not a lot.
I know Hickory's chock full of them too.
Well, they don't. The thing about Murray is it doesn't have a feeder system that has spotted bass in it.
Right. Well, they
You know,
come straight from
that's
the river.
that's a Saluda River. Greenwood, which is actually the lake above Murray, has a lot of spotted bass in it,
Really?
but they're big.
I hadn't been.
You don't hear anybody complaining about them because they're all big.
Yeah.
Well,
The only time I've ever been to Greenwood, I thought I did good until someone brought 28 pounds of the scale.
Yeah,
I wasn't even. I was an afterthought.
and they didn't kill all the spotted bass.
Those were all largemouth though.
Yeah,
I mean, again, there's pros and cons to all of it. No, we're not experts, but I know
No,
this.
absolutely not.
Amongst the three of us, we got a lot of time on the water and a lot of just general all-around knowledge of our lakes.
I can tell you this one thing for certain, and we can complain as much as we want, but if there is a derby out here and I'm available to fish it,
yeah, I'm going.
I'm going.
Dang
If it
right.
takes 7 pounds to win it,
Or 27
or
pounds.
27 pounds, because I like to compete and I like to fish.
That's exactly right.
Well, I say that, but my track record of showing up to derbies over the last 3 months has not been that great. So
I don't know. You're 3-0 in 1v1.
I am that, but those are not derby. Those are more sanctioned.
So what you're saying is you're a midweek fisherman when it doesn't count?
No, I'm.
That's right. It don't count. That was proven. Was that last year? A couple years
I
ago?
don't know when that was.
Yeah, that was
Oh,
proven. Through the week fish do not count.
They
And
way
now,
different.
now I forget what
Yeah.
his name is. Brian's partner,
Thomas.
Thomas Vickers. That one's for you, buddy.
They weigh different.
They weigh.
They
weigh
don't
different.
weigh at all.
Not at all.
Nope.
It's just
Hey.
like catching them in practice. Don't.
So you know what?
Guess
Spend
what?
time.
You know what? You should petition Bass and tell them that Thursday and Friday didn't count.
Maybe I could talk them into
Just
to
let
making
them-
Monday and
just-
Tuesday count.
No, go straight to Saturday when it matters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, here we go with that again.
Yeah.
You think John Cox will be all right with that?
John Cox probably doesn't care. He'd just laugh. That's a funny dude. He's, all jokes aside, John Cox is a funny guy to watch fish. He just has so much fun. And he's fishing free, no pressure. He just every time he catches one, first thing he does is sets the hook and immediately starts laughing.
He does. It
He's
reminds me
having
of
a
little
ball.
kid catching a
He
big
is
fish.
having a ball.
So, all right. So we got one more thing on here. I know we're running along, but
We actually are.
What time is it?
It's
Man, it's
7:44. We're not.
7:44
We're not
already.
running long. We've.
so Michael Kennard brought up something really interesting, and he talked about the thermocline. All right. So you said herring, right? But there are herring in there, but the majority of the fish are alewives.
Allies, yes.
Right. So forage fish.
Right.
So we talked about this in one of our early ones when way back in April when we were talking about the herring spawn. We talked about herring versus alewives and how if you lay them side by side, you can't tell the difference, right?
Do what now?
They look very similar.
They look very similar. Yes.
So
They just act different,
They
completely
act
different.
completely
they're
different.
two totally different critters.
So herring stay. They migrate to the backs of the pockets or backs of the creeks in the morning, at night, and they make their ways out. They make their way out. That's why you see a lot of schooling fish on your herring lakes, like Clark. Well, all of the Savannah chain,
Well, even Lake Lanier.
and
You know, I mean,
Lanier
it's-
too. All your herring lakes. So, the difference between those and alewives is that once those herring get to a certain depth, that's where they stay.
And they are wherever
Above,
the thermocline is.
They're right above it, right?
They're 30. Most of the time, it's around 30 feet.
Alewives will go below the thermocline because they will stay on the bottom, and that's why a
But
lot of the
they do-
stripers died because they follow them fish down there. And for any of our watchers that don't know what the thermocline is, it's,
Turn the sensitivity up on your graph right now out on a
Yeah.
lake, and you can.
Yeah.
we know that, but what it is basically there is a depth in the lake, and anything below it, the oxygen content is so low that
Nothing can
any
live.
game fish cannot live. For some reason, the alewives can live. I don't
And
know
for
why.
all my striper fishing buddies, this is the truth right here. They're too dumb to breathe, so they all die.
But
They are pretty
So-
They're
dumb.
dumb.
so what? Back to Kennard's mention, alewives actually kill fish too.
All right.
Follow 'em.
Where's WBTV when we need them?
Yeah, they're out finding some hydrillas, killing bald eagles.
Oh gosh.
I
mean-
move all of them too.
Again, alewives may be a bigger problem than
Well, that's
people.
why fish don't school on Wiley anymore.
That's exactly because when alewives are chased, they go as deep as they can because they'll bottom out before the largemouth won't follow them. The stripers are too dumb not to follow them, and the spots are just out there eating. They're swimming with their mouths open, eating whatever they can
Yeah.
eat.
That's right. Kennard put it on here in our comments. Basically, it's a layer where no oxygen and fish get trapped underneath. They basically suffocate. Might as well throw them up on the bank.
Yep, because
You
they're,
can see
they're
it.
gonna die. I mean,
If your electronics are not dialed in, I can teach you how to find a thermocline. It's very easy. You can see it on 2D. It looks like basically looks like a false bottom if you have them dialed in right.
yep.
And you will see nothing underneath it.
No, and when you start
That's right, Chris. They eat good. I agree with that statement.
when you start seeing some catfish floating around the lake, more than likely they got trapped.
Yep, that's right. We did miss one thing. So, talking about the tournaments around here. So we got the Bass Nation tournaments are coming up. So October, they're coming in October. They had to reschedule a whole bunch of them. So North Carolina's going to do a little bit different this year.
You talking about tournaments to field state team?
Yep, field the state team. You've been a part of the state team before, haven't you?
4 times.
4 times. That's a feat in itself. So typically it's a 2-day tournament, but this year in North Carolina, they're going to fish 1-day events to get them all in, and I guess the third is going to be a wild card event if you don't make it in the first 2. But the first one's going to be October 9th on Lake Norman, and then the very following day will be October 10th on High Rock. So that's a Friday and a Saturday, but it's not combined waves.
It's two different tournaments.
That's right. So top 3 boaters in each and top 3 co-anglers in each will make the state team.
Yeah, and I think the third one is on the.
It's always at the Trent Noose.
I think it's the Trent Noose or is it the Chowan? It's one of the two.
I'm looking at ncbfn.com. Chuck Murray's the president.
Yeah,
Let's see.
I got an email about it the other day.
We will also have a third qualifier on Trent Noose with
Okay.
a date to be announced soon. If you're not a member, it's not too late to join and try to advance to the Bassmaster Classic. So, for anybody that doesn't know, that's the easiest way for the working man to make the Classic.
Yeah,
That's the only
it's really
way.
the only way.
That's the only way.
It's also the hardest way.
It is the hardest way. But yeah, and then South Carolina, every state has its own team. I understand they are going to Santee, but that will be a 2-day event, and it's the same week you guys are there, right? The elites,
Yep.
versus the week after.
Yep, same week.
Same week. So if you want a shot at the state team, those are your events around here. Every state has them. You can look at your Bass Nation stuff and figure out where you're at.
And if you want to know where it's at, in North Carolina, you can hit up Chuck Murray on Facebook. Or I guess you could shoot Chuck an email.
I don't know who does it in South Carolina.
I don't know who the president is in South Carolina.
I don't
But
know
I'll
who
tell
it
you who
is.
you guys, a lot of you guys probably know Stan Gunner. I don't think Stan's a president, but I'm sure Stan could put you in contact with the right people. Because I know Stan fishes all that stuff, so he could probably help you out with that.
Yeah, so I have come close to the state team, but I've never made it. I understand there's a lot that comes with it as far as goodies goes.
Yeah, you get a lot of cool stuff. A lot of companies like, Mercury and Motor Guide. They give a lot of apparel, hats, shirts. Plus, you get some really cool discounts on, whatever stuff Mercury offers, props and trolling motors, whatever. If you guys still run a 2-stroke, oil.
That's right.
They get all kinds of cool stuff that go along with making the state team. I think Humminbird and Lawrence both do like a half-off program. It's a pretty cool thing. Plus, you get to go. I'm not sure where the
Championship is?
no, it'll be
Or
the
the
division.
regional?
They call it the divisional. I'm not sure where the divisional is, but you get to go with your team to that and get to go do that whole thing where they they take care of you for the week and you get to go participate as a team. It's a cool thing. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, so check that out if you're interested in that. And we actually had a write-in giveaway.
We did.
Giveaway?
Happy birthday to Paul Rob Dye Outdoors. That's right, Paul Benson.
Today's Rob Dye's birthday?
Today is Rob Dye's birthday.
It's a golden one,
He
isn't it?
is 50. 50. Paul Benson. Hey,
That's who we need to have on here to talk
yeah,
about it.
Paul. I need to get with you to get. We can Zoom you in here or something to do. Maybe have you and Chris Canute on here at the same time to maybe talk about the about your new
National
Professional Fishing League. I'll holler at you when I leave here tonight.
Yeah, Jody's right. Chuck does it right. So I've fished several of those. Chuck does run a good tournament. He's a really good dude. Chuck
Yeah.
Murray.
Oh yeah.
I wonder if Chuck Murray will allow you to change your co-angler if you don't like who it is.
I don't know.
Oh,
I've never had a
did
problem.
Did that happen?
That happened at Lake Norman,
In what?
the ABA this past weekend.
How you know?
Two
Kennard.
people that were there.
Kennard. I'm just gonna tell you, we all know Paul's political views. Anyway, well, tell me a little more about that. What happened?
While we're talking about, while we're talking about Chuck, dude's a hammer on Bugs Island and
In
Gibson.
Gaston, yeah.
Gaston.
Oh yeah.
Gaston. I said Gibson. Gaston.
Yeah.
No, so there was a certain
He don't
angler.
like spotted bass.
No, he don't like spot bass.
There was a certain angler that called the tournament director because he did not like who he was drawn with and didn't feel like he could fish
Oh yeah.
his waters with the co-angler he had.
Was that you?
No, it was not. I was not there. Had no part of it. That's why I'm not going to speak names
It
at
wasn't
this
me.
point.
I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah, what's your take on that, guys? Kind of controversial topic.
So wait a minute. So the angler called or the co-angler
the
called?
angler called
Okay.
because he didn't like who
He had fishing with him.
he had fishing
because
with
he
him.
didn't want to show him where he was
That's
going.
right.
I tell you, I don't know anything about this, but I could almost call who that was. I won't do it on the air or
Yeah.
while we're on live.
Well, you weren't here.
It don't matter. I don't have to be. I can.
Well, I'm just saying it wasn't you.
No,
Well-
it wasn't me. I can't fish ABAs anyway.
We will discuss that later. But
I wonder
You
how many
guys-
people have done that to me.
You guys comment
I don't
and
know.
see what your take is on the tournament director allowing him to change his co-angler because he didn't want to divulge fishing areas.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, it's a Q&A type thing. Just give your opinions. We'll take a consensus next show on that. Man, did I turn crickets in here?
No, hey, I'm
I'm
cool
reading
with it. I
comments.
got it. Like I said, I got a real good idea who it is anyway.
Jody's right. You have to hold water back sometimes.
I mean, I know somebody that had 5-pounders on the bed on Wiley and didn't go to him because of who his co-angler was
Now
in a
that
tournament.
sounds like a David Winters story.
It was not me.
I'm just going to tell you what that is.
I
That's
was
just dumb. That's just dumb. And I don't know who you're talking about, but that was dumb.
Well, I can tell you this: it's a place that most people don't go look for bed and fish, and it was probably a smart move, really and truly, given who the co-angler was. It was a smart move, but
That must
just-
have been a long time ago. I ain't seen a 5-pounder on the bed on Lake Wiley
It
in
was-
a long time.
it was it was about 8 years ago.
It was probably that dumb 5-pounder you caught the other
It
day.
may have been. He may have been. Hey, he may come back to thank me for that. I don't know. You never know.
Chris Marshall. That's exactly right. Exactly right.
Yeah, I have too.
I've done that. I've had people in the boat with me that I didn't want them to know, and yes, sir.
Yeah, I fished plenty of tournaments with Shane where he didn't take me to the good stuff because we sucked.
Yeah, I can't show Brandon anything. He tells everybody.
I'm out here making waypoints and converting them online so everybody can see them.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what we should do. We should start a waypoint book, $200.
You think?
Yeah, man. They don't have to be good. They just got to be waypoints.
Chris said he hadn't run stuff because Winters was in the boat with him.
Oh,
Hey,
man.
he's telling the truth. I practiced with Chris in the BFLs for 2 or 3
It was
years.
probably at Murray too.
We did, yeah. I know he left a lot of stuff unturned at Murray. But I will say this, Chris, I want to thank you here. You did teach me a lot in those 2 or 3 years.
Kennard says I've seen Shane and not stopped on my good holes. Kennard, I've seen all your good holes. They're all inside of Alcoa.
Derek
Hey.
brought up a good point. Maybe he's had a pass with the guy.
He may have. I don't know all the sides. It's just one of those what if questions.
Well, I mean, I had a guy at the BFL down here about 2 or 3 years ago in the fall that cussed me before we ever got in the boat.
I remember that day.
And I went and told the tournament director, I said, look here, this guy is not going fishing with me. And he's like, well, you need to do this and you need to do that. I said, no, listen to me. He is not going fishing with me. If I have to go load my boat and go home, this guy is not going fishing with me today, period, end of story.
What happened?
He didn't go fishing with me.
They swap him out?
They had an observer in somebody else's boat. They took the observer out of that boat, put it in my boat, and put that guy in with the other guy. And the other guy just happened to be Jonathan Crosland from Lake Murray, who was a super nice guy. And he said he didn't have any problems. So, I mean, it worked out. I'm glad of that.
Well-
Did you win that day?
No, he did not.
No, that was day one, but I did make the
Okay.
cut.
All
Yeah.
right.
I had a female co-angler. That was an interesting day.
The co-angler you had is an interesting person.
Yeah, do
Yeah.
you remember who I had?
Yeah.
I don't even remember her name.
I don't either, but if she walked in, I'd recognize her face.
Okay. It was an interesting day, to say the least.
How many BFLs you won on Wiley? 2?
On Wiley, one.
Just one? Thought you'd won twice.
Nope. I won one at Wiley, 2 at Murray, 1 at Hartwell, and 1 at Gunnersville.
I practiced the one with you on Wiley when you won it. I got in a boat with you an
Mhm.
hour after I got off from work, and you said, "Watch this." And he picked up his lure and it's like, "All right, whatever, we're going fishing." I won't say what it was.
I don't care. It don't matter.
Actually, I will. It was True South shimmy jig.
That's
is what
exactly
it was.
what it was.
Threw it up on the bank and wound it 4 times and caught a 6-pounder. I'm not kidding. He goes, "Dude, I've literally cast this thing like 6 times." and every one I've caught has been 4 pounds or bigger. And I'm like, all right, whatever. And the next day you had a 6 pounder,
Almost 7.
and you had one other big one too.
I had almost 19 pounds.
Yeah,
Well,
stupid fish.
anyway, I wasn't trying to kick a hornet's nest on that last question. I
all
just
good.
want to see what everybody's thoughts were. And your phone's ringing again. But no, you were starting to say we had Marcos from Waterwood Crankbaits text me
That's right.
and wants to give away one of the new
What's the split?
Shane Lineberger special colors.
That's right.
What are you going to call that thing?
That's what it's called.
Upside down shad?
No, that's what it's called.
Special color?
It's Shane Lineberger special.
Okay.
Is that
Well-
all right with you?
Man,
Hey,
I'll
I got no-
I'll come up with a good name for you. I can't do it right now, but I'll get you a good one.
Short mag special?
Oof. That'd be more body shape, not color.
Okay, well. Anyway.
What is that?
Look, Marcos just jumped on here. You better say it
Yeah.
again.
Marcos, you want to explain this? He wants to give away a Waterwood crankbait through the podcast. Special Shane Lineberger concocted color.
That's right.
And,
Yeah, so how are we gonna get this away? Did Marcos say? Or
I don't know.
was it
He left it up to me to do it through Rusty Hooks Bait and Tackle. SL Special.
SL special.
So how can we do this? What would be a good way to do it? Fat neck killer.
Josh, I really want to fire some shots at you right now, but I won't.
Unfortunately, you can't, given the certain climate.
Oh man.
Um,
Let's come up with something good.
I don't know.
here's how you can do it. You gotta go
Like
and share.
share the podcast page, Rusty Hooks Live.
Yep. And also like and share the Waterwood page.
That's right.
All right. So we will. I'll put
Let's
a
give it-
post up.
Let's
I'll put a
give
post up.
it 2 weeks.
All right. I'll put a post up when we're done tonight. We'll explain the Waterwood stuff and how you got to get entered,
Yep.
and we'll draw it in 2 weeks.
There
All
we
right.
go.
So just to run back through that, like and share the post we're going to put up, and go like and share Waterwood crankbaits, and to make sure we know that one's shared,
I'll
tag
get
Rusty Hooks Live in.
That's right.
Tag
Yeah.
Rusty Hooks Live in the share page when you share Waterwood. Yeah, Mike Seawright, we forgot about that. He said he's currently thankful for spots. That
Yeah.
son of a gun caught 15 pounds in the
I'm
middle
a
of
But I don't
August.
think he had any spots. I think they were mostly largemouth.
He had some spots.
spots.
But he had 2 big largemouth.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this.
I think.
So I was-
seen his post.
I was working this weekend. And
You what?
I was working this
You
weekend.
mean you were here hanging out
No, I was working. Legitimately got a project going at the house. A little,
Oh,
little small
oh.
project.
at the house? Okay, I
Yep.
got you.
And so I saw this video pop up that I had to watch. And it was Mike Seawright counting his chickens middle of the tournament, about 9:30 in the morning.
Well, here's what I think about that.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right
He
now.
obviously really liked his chickens.
I was.
Oh,
saying-
no.
I'm glad you stopped. I'm glad you stopped.
I'm gonna
with
just-
this before you said before they hatched, because
Yeah,
them suckers
They-
hatched. and They were in
they
the
was-
live
they
well.
were they were
But-
clucking, weren't they?
But little did you guys know
They
he
had grown
only
up from
won.
little chicks.
But he only won by 400ths of an ounce.
Hey,
Well, you know what the
Look
good thing?
here.
You know what that's all about? That means they had 300s more than they needed.
Look here. Vin Diesel said it the best in the first Fast and the Furious. You win by an inch or a mile.
Winning's winning. That's right.
I, no doubt. But I had to call him middle of the tournament. And 12 o'clock, I called him. I said, Mike, I said, I've been down this road with you counting your chickens before. You think you're a little premature on the video, sir? He said that weighed on his mind the rest of the day.
Well, he got it done.
Well, shoot, he had 15 pounds in August. That's pretty solid.
That's
Congratulations.
Well, who finished second then? That means somebody else had almost 15 pounds too.
Jake, was it Jake Monty?
I have no idea.
What's
Jake Monty, who's that? I don't know him.
I don't know. Last name was Monty. I don't know. Mike, tell me the name. Come on, I know you're still here. Give me a little bit of help.
That's right, Kennard. He had some big chickens.
Well, the funny thing about it was the kid looked at him and said, "Haven't you won enough in your life already?" Because it was a younger. I mean, it was a younger guy.
Right,
You know.
right.
It's-
Well, look here. So I've learned a lot in the last 6 months we've been doing this, and the more crap that you all talk, or that we all talk to
Yeah.
Mike Seawright, the better that son of a gun gets.
Well, it gives him purpose.
They were making fun of his antique fishing rods, and he even was fishing with one.
I think he's got some Falcons that were made in 1992.
Those are the good ones.
I know.
I wish they still made them like that.
They
I
sure
got-
have changed a lot, haven't they?
Absolutely.
I got to figure out this kid's name that won that cat. Or finished second, sorry, not one.
I think Seawright shared the results.
Oh, I'm sure he did.
Fat net killer. We're gonna have to come up with something.
That's
for that.
pretty good there.
That is a good
I had to
one.
give Josh props on
That
that.
is a good one.
That's pretty good.
That'd be a bait named after Johnson though.
Didn't you?
No, that'd be Fat Head.
I thought you were- I thought you
Johnson.
were- I thought-
Johnson's Fat Head.
I thought you were fat back.
Yeah, well, whatever.
didn't you already have a color called No Neck?
That was and I've had Fat Back was one of my jig colors too.
Jake Monty and Doug Monty finished second, and it's literally 3/100ths of an ounce.
Might as well have been 2 pounds.
Wow, 1487 and 1484.
So
Who had big fish?
Jake,
That would have been
Jake Monty.
They had a 435.
Again, just
Look,
saying.
look, hey, look, who was that finished third? Did that say Scott Hammer?
That was Scott Hammer.
Yeah. What he win?
What he had?
Oh, nothing.
Nothing.
What do you have?
11.99.
Dang, you still wouldn't have won the 1v1 up there. That's exactly what he had in 1v1.
It was.
Oh,
wasn't it? About
well, that
11
was with the bag.
With the bag.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Tough. That's
Anyway,
hard.
well,
There we go. We should have just read the comments. Mark Silver.
He just now put it up there.
Yep. anyway, congratulations to the old man and his trusty steed, Jason Aker. And then Jake Monty, your time's coming, buddy. Give it time.
You're gonna win a whole lot more than you're gonna lose with 15 pounds of
Jason
Lane.
Land said your time's coming.
I know my time's coming.
He didn't say that, but you know,
It sounded good.
It
though.
sounded good.
Yeah, I like it.
Jason Land's saying that your time's coming for that throttling.
I mean, honestly, my rods are still sitting on the deck of the boat at my house right
Still
now.
backlash.
So what you're saying?
Probably
is-
still
So what
backlash.
you're saying is you're ready to go right now.
I mean, no, because I got 2 lithium batteries sitting on the front deck that I got to put in as, warranty claims. But, I mean, give me
And let's
24
just
hours.
let's make it clear that those are not lithium pros.
Those were part of my stupidity. I'll own it.
I got some of those.
What do you think about them? You like them?
I ain't been able to run them dead yet.
Yeah, you won't.
Well,
I've ran them for 3 solid fishing days and hadn't killed them.
the last time I ran mine 3 solid days and forgot to plug it in,
That's what happened to
they
you.
went to sleep. One of them didn't wake up.
My so you all know my boat. I got electronics hung all over it. Oxygenators, power
You're the only guy I know
poles.
that's smart enough to use them all, though.
Well, I know how to turn them all on.
Yeah,
It's a good thing yours are all synced to that one button.
you got that right.
Shane pushes one button, all his
No,
electronics.
3 of them come on.
Okay.
The live scope's on a separate one.
Gotcha. But
Josh Good, sorry, buddy. You're behind the 8 ball. Jason Land's got the next crack if he ponies up.
I think 70% is the lowest I've seen that cranking battery when I plug it up.
Yeah, and that power pole charge has a lot to do with that
Yeah,
too.
it does.
John Martin, to speak on that, keep your ears to the ground. There's something coming up in South Carolina that you might want to jump on board with. Even though it is South Carolina, it may filter into North Carolina. South Carolina Boating and Fishing Association, we're studying all of this. We've done studies on how much money's brought in, and I can tell you in the state of South Carolina, it's $3.9 billion a year in the outdoor industry alone is brought into South Carolina. That's a lot of money
Yeah,
that could be used for good things in our fishing world if there's a way to direct it and to guide it.
Jason, I do fish. Unfortunately, working kids keeps me off the lake a lot during the spring and winter, or spring and summer.
I'm gonna no stop right there. Just you're making excuses, buddy. I love you, Brandon fishes, but he likes to fish when the odds are in his favor, i.e., when they bite a little jerkum bait,
Nothing wrong with that.
and maybe filter into the shad spawn.
I'm all right when they're around those times. But
That's-
when it gets hot, man, I'm big. I don't
Well.
like sweating.
Yeah, me either, but I do it.
That's up to you.
I mean, I had to fish against Dylan. It was 150,000
Oh, my God.
degrees.
Well, now let's wait a minute.
Shane drank a case of water and ate 2 bags of beef jerky
So
and
let's
swole
wait a
up
minute.
from the salt poisoning.
Let's remember what the terms and conditions on that tournament was. Dylan had to fish on your terms, your place, and your time.
Yep.
So I'm pretty sure you picked that day.
That's right. I did. I know. And I also said when that was over, I'm not fishing another one until it cools down.
Yeah.
And Jason, I have been up to Baden with Shane and got our teeth kicked in one of his little wildcats.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting on an invite for that up there.
It's too hot.
It's too, I know. I agree. Too much going on.
Maybe it'll cool off in the next week or so.
What we having that, Shane? We're like 17 or 18 pounds.
Something like that. And
We're
wasn't
good to
even,
go.
wasn't even close.
And it. No, was that a 3 fish still? No, that was 5 fish.
That was
then.
when it was still
Yeah.
5, yeah, because we caught a couple of them off the
Yeah.
bed.
And you were like, yeah. I think I only took 18 pounds to win last week. Well, it took like 23 to win.
Yeah,
that
it was
weekend.
something crazy.
Well,
But anyway, so all right, did we get through everything? We talked about the most important thing. We talked about the giveaway.
Yep.
So if Carl's still on here, Carl, thanks for all the stuff. Jason Good won the first one. Josh Good won the first one.
and he's mad because I won't let him challenge me in a 1v1. You just won the first giveaway, buddy. Just take your wins and go home.
So there's 4 more weeks worth of it. So go find the post, like, share our page. We're going to draw one every Monday for the next 4 weeks.
Yep.
We got a new giveaway announced tonight. The SL Special color Waterwood crankbait that Marcos has donated to us.
Man, I feel like the
we're
Oprah
gonna make a-
Winfrey show right now.
We're going
You
to make
get
a
a
post
card.
for that. We're gonna-
Well, let's back up. Let's don't compare anything to Oprah.
No, I know. I shouldn't have used that one. But everybody gets a car or something. I mean, come on.
Well, your dad hands out cars.
No, well,
Where's that line start? I need a truck.
I need one too.
too low.
All right.
Too low.
So we'll post something about that, the Waterwood stuff. Find our Facebook page on that. What else we talked about? We talked about St. Clair, MLF,
National Professional Fishing League.
brought up some controversy of the ABA. I guess we had a full night tonight.
We did.
What are we
Chris,
going to talk about next week?
Chris, jump on Jody. I'll call him and bug him too. I agree. For as many catcher's jigs as you guys have seen me beat up against docks, break off, and backlash my reels with, I mean, the least we could do is get some to give away.
But it wasn't a jig's fault.
No, it's a
It's
pure
one-
T angler error,
100%
but
operator error without doubt.
yeah, no doubt. But still,
I don't think any paint could hold up to that.
Hey, what's this? What is this?
Somebody's asking us if we're going to fish against the
Great watching
Legend.
you dock fish on Wiley. You guys be doing a Legends challenge on Wiley against the Legend crew. As of right now, no. Maybe that's something that could happen down the road, but right now we're just kind of.
Blaine, I'm gonna stop Shane right there. I have personally beat both the legends. I did my job. Love you, Mike and Scott.
Oh
but
God, here we go.
There
Now,
you go.
Now you just opened a can of worms.
I
'Cause
did.
You don't know when to keep that pie hole shut.
Hey,
This whole place is going to be like the old
Yeah.
TVs. Boom.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
somebody pulled the plug.
Yeah.
No, it's all good, man. They know I do. I mean it in fun.
Russ, I have a good job.
What does this mean? Y'all need to get
My-
Joss to buy the.
My
I think you
dad
meant
can't.
jobs.
He's fat fingered sometimes.
Jobs. Gotcha.
I have a good job. There's my
I have a good job too, but it don't buy me no truck.
It's my number one sponsor.
Hey, do they want to sponsor a podcast? Maybe.
Probably not, unless you want to talk about
I-
selling of valves, instruments, and
I might be
plant
able to talk
automation.
about the little bit of the electrical side of it. Maybe.
That's all real low voltage, 420 amp, or I'm sorry, 420 volt milliamp. Sorry,
I mean, I can wing it.
milliamp. You can tell I'm on the control side.
Yeah.
You do this, you put this, mix it up. That's the side I'm on.
There you go. You can do the one-liners.
Yeah.
The one-line drawings.
No, I don't do the drawings. I do all the magic in the computers to make.
So
stuff.
you're the programming side.
Yeah.
No.
I'm the guy that gets blamed for everything because the other guy's too lazy to go out in the field and look at the instrument that's messed up.
Dad, your fingers are fat tonight. Quit. Go to bed. I love you, though.
Thanks for the truck.
Thanks for the truck. All right, we're going to sign off with that. Rusty Hooks Live, where our hooks may be rusty, but our points are always sharp.
Catch us next week. You'll be back, right?
Oh, yeah, he's not going anywhere
We're
for a
going to have a
while.
full studio next week.
Who's
Yeah.
next week? Well, maybe.
We might have 2 guests in here.
Yeah. Well, we'll just have them on one at a time, though.
All right.
Next
Don't-
week, no. How are we going to have 2? Oh, Jason Land.
Yeah.
Who
If
else?
Jason can come. We're
Who
gonna try.
else?
We're gonna try to get Chris Canute in there.
Okay.
Don't forget the 10% question. You have to go back. I won't
I
say
forget
it.
who.
again.
I forget who it was.
We'll
but
write it down for you.
yeah, there you go.
We'll put it on the wall back here.
Just tattoo it to my forehead so I can see it when I
Well, then
wake
you
up in the
still
morning.
can't see it. And I will have this uploaded tonight so you guys can watch it tomorrow, Tuesday. Tomorrow's Tuesday.
All day.
All day.
On your favorite podcast player and our YouTube channel at Rusty Hooks Live. I guess with that, Shane, you got anything else?
We gone.
We gone. See you next week.
See you guys.